Panther Point's preview is brought to you by Prophetstown Mini Mart, located at 202 Washington Street in Prophetstown. Behind every small business is a family. Nicole Olinger Photography. Olinger Photography, located on Main Street in Prophetstown, specializing in senior, school, sports, and more. Call 815-499-6952 to book a session.
I think it was, middle of the third quarter, and Dimitri went down with cramps. And, obviously he's one of our top players on both sides of the ball. And, our guys stuck with it. Offensively, we continued to churn out first downs. Defensively, we had to move some guys around. I think they had to do the same thing on offense, but we were able to put some different guys in some different positions, and, they got it done. And I think that's a lot to say to those guys for stepping up and, believing in themselves when one of our top players does go down, that they can get the job done themselves.
Is that where that speed this year's showed up right away? Is on the defensive side more than the offensive?
Yeah, I think so. I know that's been the big push the past few years for, I think, multiple defensive coaches. It's just a matter of having the speed in the right positions. And we got it all over the field. I mean, Derek Nosker as our D lineman has to be one of the fastest D linemen that's out there, because he made multiple plays chasing the quarterback down, chasing the running back down. And I just point him out because sometimes you don't think about that as for defensive linemen. But man, he showed up big, and our linebackers getting all over the field. It was 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, and Eamon hit that A gap, and he drilled that running back, and I mean that was that was a huge play, and I think he ended with 15 tackles for the game. And he's always had the ability, but he's never really showcased his skills at line. I mean, he just hasn't. Things haven't completely clicked, I guess, so to speak. And I told him after the game, I said, man, that was the best game I've ever seen you play defensively. And I knew you had all the physical tools. It was just kind of putting everything together. And, man, he looked good.
What'd you think about the offensive side?
Yeah, I mean, we had multiple guys that had, I think Keegan ended up with 50 yards, but then we had Connor Keegan that he ended up with, 40 or 50 yards. And then Max Milam had 30-something yards. So we had 4 different guys chip in with, right around 50 yards, give or take a little bit here and there. And, if we can do that, that's awesome, because most teams are going to key on Dimitri, which makes sense. I would if I was going against them. But having 3 other guys that can carry the ball and can do some different things, it really makes our offense dynamic and tough to cover. We got the ball back with 5.5 minutes left. And, thinking to yourself, all right, run the clock out, we win the game, but 5.5 minutes is a long time. Yeah. And we did it. When they know we're just running the ball, like we're trying to run the clock, is, kudos to everyone on the offensive team. I thought offensively, it looks like they have a pretty good scheme. They're not super, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, flashy, but the plays they run, they run them well. They had multiple, big plays against Orion. They shot themselves in the foot with a couple of fumbled snaps and things like that, but their offensive line's pretty legit. They got some big guys that can move well in space. So that was kind of the first thing that, the coaches and I were talking about, that we're like up front, they're solid for sure. And they have 2 running backs, number 8 and number 34, that run hard. So this isn't a team we can take lightly.
Coming off that win, that just had to be a huge boost for the kids, right? Because nobody picked you guys to win that game.
No. They were talking about Kiwani maybe pushing Princeton for the conference championships, for their side of the conference. So our guys were super pumped. Truly, I believe all of them thought that we had a shot in this game. And, as the game went on, you could just see their confidence on the sideline grow. And then when it was all said and done, they were, we had a lot of fun in the locker room and then on the bus ride home, because, it did take the entire game to get the job done. But, it was definitely a good feeling because of all the work we've put in, over the past few months. So getting that win is kind of validation for for what they did. And sometimes you don't get the win. And that at the end of the day, that's all the kids worry about. But if somehow we would have ended up being on the other side, there was so many positives taken from that game, but being able to win and hold on. And, we watched the film, and I told these guys on Monday, I said, man, there was so many plays we could have done better. And that's the exciting part, that we held on and we have a whole nother level that this team can go. And I think we will. I think it's going to be a process, and I think each week we're going to have that confidence grow. But it's funny. You just want to get back on the field and prove it again to everyone. But we got to take one day at a time.
Panther Points Preview was brought to you by Prophetstown Mini Mart, located at 202 Washington Street in Prophetstown. Behind every small business is a family. Nicole Olinger Photography. Olinger Photography, located on Main Street in Prophetstown, specializing in senior, school, sports, and more. Call 815-499-6952 to book a session.